line.
We're on the line. Hopefully we're recording.
Hopefully we're recording this time, yeah.
And it's...
We just did a 45-minute podcast to ourselves.
It was very enlightening. Oh my God, I wish you were there. It was so powerful. It's changed me forever. But here we are on an overcast day by the lake. It's fall. It's November 3rd. Happy birthday to my son. I love you very much, Sam.
Happy birthday.
And as November 3rd is our launch date for our new school. Everybody cheer. Yay! So what's our school, Hillary? Talk about our school.
This is already turning out better
than the 45-minute one.
Oh my God. Yeah, so Tyke's all excited too. Yeah, so we have been planning for the last couple months, really, just getting together material, understanding what we really want from this online community. It's going to be hosted on Skool, Skool, and it's going to be a community to learn how to reprogram your mind, learn techniques to help you with your mind, learn reframes to help your mind, and it's sort of going to encompass, Les always laughs when I say this, encompass this mind, body, soul idea, right? So personally, I like to work with soul, so I'm going to be heading up courses on that and techniques with that. And it's going to be a place where people can come together and talk about, if they want, what they're going through, what they're learning. It's also going to be a place for hypnotists to join if they want, to learn continuing education for hypnotists. We just got back from a conference and the hypnotists there were pretty excited to join. And so they'll be learning things like parts work, things like past life regression, stuff like that. And I think we have it in mind at some point to offer our NGH certification training through it. Yeah. I don't know. You could probably
it comes at a time when we're making a shift. And the shift has sort of been guided by circumstances and just sort of the waves of what we do. The podcast has always been really important to us. And for me, sort of that outreach, that opportunity to connect with people and ask for feedback. It's not that we won't do hypnosis in the chair. We're going to do that, but we're probably going to do less of that and really focus on this. Putting out there the materials, the recordings, the meditations, the information to help you understand your mind. We're calling it the Infinite Mind School because your mind is infinite. And we think there's an infinite amount of information you can gain about the mind and your mind and how to use it. And we think that when you do, the possibilities are infinite. The mind is really the center of your existence. It's really the tool that we just don't use enough and as well as we might. And it is the filter through which we have experience, how we interpret and put meaning on all of the events of our lives. So it's really an infinite topic. And so to share the story, I was working with a client and we went to the other side. And when we go to the other side, I always take a moment and I'm a little bit selfish because I want feedback from the other side. I want, when I take my client to the other side, that's usually their first or second experience of that, and they don't know whether I'm doing it well or badly, and to be honest, neither do I. And so I like to ask the other side, how did we do? Is this good technique? Are they in a good place? is the technique a good one? And so when I took this client to the other side, I just said quickly, I just want to know, how was my technique? Did I do a good job? And their answer was really quite stern. They said, yeah, you did fine, but you should be helping a lot more people. And I was like, what? Yeah, you were meant to help a lot more people. And I said, well, is that, hypnosis in the chair or online stuff? And they said, just you decide, but get on with it, kind of thing. And so it was really kind of a challenging and inspirational moment to sort of move through. I find this whole thing to be very intimidating. I find it to be anxiety producing. I have all my own little mental issues about, fear and what's going to happen when we do this, and are we going to do it well? Am I going to do it right? Am I going to, I'm always concerned that I'm doing the right thing. I want so badly to be helping people. Anyway, and I woke up this morning anxious as hell about doing this. And so here's the reframe for the day. I found this a couple of months ago, and I've been using it pretty much multiple times a day. I acknowledge the fear and I act anyway. I acknowledge the fear and I act anyway. The reframe we often use in hypnosis is, fear is a warning, not a wall. Fear is an opportunity to be safe and take good care of yourself and do the right thing, but it's not meant to be a block. Fear is not meant to stop you. Fear is not meant to keep you from acting. Fear is meant to keep you safe while you act. And so, fear is a warning, not a wall. And so I acknowledge the fear and I act anyway. And I find that helpful. And so that can be our reframe for the day. We're entering into something that I want. I want it to become big. I want it to become really helpful for lots and lots of people. I want it to be a tool that people use to break through the limits of their mind and live really deliberately, really freely, pursuing their curiosity and really expressing their creativity and who they are, making choices to do the things they really want to do. Those are, it's so easy to admire people who are out there doing that, right? They acknowledge their fear, they act anyway, and they act upon their creativity, expressing their true, authentic self. And I think that's why we're here. And I think that the mind gets programmed, gets clogged up, gets in its own way a lot of times. And that's what we do. We help people get through that. So we're doing it online now. We're doing it in form of courses. We're doing it in the form of lives. We want lots of lives. We want your feedback. We want your questions. We want your interaction. We're going to be doing the podcast basically live for the next little while. We believe that this school will become most effective, most useful, most helpful when all you people interact with us. And we have a following on our podcast that we want to invite to be part of this, and we want to start being much more responsive and interactive. So with all of that said, we're going to do podcasts live. We're going to be opening up the message board and chat board on the school, looking for your feedback, looking for your interests and what you want to pursue and what you want us to create courses. The courses are going to have a format to them. They're going to be a series of short lessons with meditations that help you lock in any kind of reframe that you can. There's always the invitation to reach out to us to do hypnosis, but more importantly, we look forward to your feedback on what we produce so that we can tailor it and enhance it and turn it into what you need. And the hope then is that lots of people come forward and start engaging in the school. the idea is to really, we see sort of three groups of people. The first group of people are those who just want to try us out and test it. And you should, just to test it, just to see, is this going to work for me? Is this going to be helpful for me? And so there's going to be sort of that free have a taste option. Then there's going to be a membership, and the membership is going to essentially be about the people who we are most responsive to. The people who join in as members are going to really very much shape the direction the school goes and what kind of content we're constantly putting out there. And it's our intention to be constantly putting content out there. And then we think there's a whole world of hypnotists that can gain from this. We gained from listening to other hypnotists talk about the techniques that they use and the ways they approached things. And just looking at the stuff that we produce will give hypnotists the opportunity to see new ideas. I mean, the goal is to help as many people as possible, and I'm not terribly concerned that some hypnotist comes on to our school and says, oh, I like that technique, I'm going to use it. For me, it's, yeah, go for it. You have my every permission. Whatever technique I'm using that you think might work with your clients, yeah, the goal is that we really, really help the collective mind. And so, we think there's value there. And there's also going to be stuff that we're going to target directly to hypnotists. And in the spirit of that, I think that all of us who are hypnotists come to the table having had an experience of hypnosis that helped us. We approached hypnosis for help in making changes. And that's when we fell in love with the technique. That's when we became curious about how we could use it for others. And so I think as an individual who's exploring hypnosis as a methodology to address that which isn't working in your mind the way you want it to, you might be drawn to becoming hypnotists. And that's part of what we're open to, is helping people become hypnotists and helping others. So this is, in so many dimensions, an attempt to really expand the circle of people who we can help with hypnosis, and most importantly, understanding and shaping deliberately your own mind.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Just off the top of my mind, things coming up that we're going to be teaching and talking about and doing lives on, even podcasting about, is reframes, talking to your body, which is exciting for me because that's what I teach. I've taught it many times anyway at conferences. Money in the Mind, I think, is going to be a great course. Removing limiting beliefs that are stopping us from delving into money and being fearful of money. The ladder, you were talking about teaching. The ladder is a way of, again, looking at limiting beliefs. I think a lot of stuff just boils down to limiting beliefs, honestly, in life. So we're going to be teaching and bringing people through a lot of that kind of work, reprogramming their mind. In the school, again, like Les has said, we want people to be asking questions. If you're somebody who likes to ask questions in a feed, then you can ask in the feed under the category of questions. If you don't want to ask them out loud, you can direct message us in the school and we'll talk about it with you. We want this school to be a safe place, right? A safe place for individuals, for hypnosis professionals. I have seen way too much where hypnotists, especially new hypnotists, will be scared to ask questions or get sort of wrecked in comments after asking a question. And that's just not allowed in our school. Any question is a good question. And it will be moderated, right?
Yeah, I think that, it will be a safe space. It will be a place where people come together for the purposes of learning about their mind and addressing the issues they have with their mind and improving their experience of life by improving the processes of their mind. And with that, there's going to be this podcast is out there. We're going to share the crap out of this podcast. We really want as many people as truly interested in this. And I know that attempting to do these podcasts live is going to be both enticing, I hope, for those of you who are engaged in the podcast, because it's your opportunity to really ask questions and direct the conversation, and get to know us and us get to know you. But it's also going to be, I'm sure, intimidating. Geez, do I do that? Should I do that? Is that safe for me to do? Mm-hmm. And so I think it is. I think we've been around long enough that those who know us know what our goals are. I think we've been doing this long enough for those of you who are listening to know that we really do care, and we share in some of these difficulties, and that certainly the best that I have to teach comes from the difficulties I've been through and been able to overcome. Yeah. And so we want you to acknowledge the fear and act anyway. We want you to take a deep breath and say, I'm going to make my presence known to these state of mind folks, and join the school and be part of things and help us shape it. Help us turn it into the kind of thing that you can use every day in your life to help you move forward and have a much softer, happier experience of life, and move past those things that up to this point have been, rocks in the road.
Mm-hmm. As you, if you're listening to this and you don't have access to, say, our Facebook to click the link, if you want to join us live, then join the school, and the lives will all be in the calendar. You can add them to your calendar if you want, and the link will be there for you.
Yeah, we're taking advantage of this shift in the clocks. We're now back to Eastern time, not Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Mm-hmm. So it means that I'm waking up an hour earlier. And so we're going to commit to 7 a.m. each morning, which allows it to be 7 p.m. on the opposite side of the world. So we're hoping that captures a lot of people, and those who can't sit with us live, and you don't have to, of course, the recordings will be there.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that on our Facebook, on our social media of all kinds, Instagram and such, on our website, and on the school are all the ways for you to access us. So you'll have our Facebook names. Feel free to reach out, friend, all that stuff. You're going to have the link to the school. It'll be on our website. Most of you have our website already, somhypnosis.com.
It'll also be in the show notes if you're listening to this on like Apple or Spotify or something. It'll be in there as well. Yeah.
So I hope you'll join us. I hope that this adventure, now that it's off the ground, I hope that this adventure turns out to be really fruitful for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to the gym in a few minutes, so we're going to get out of here. But, check the show notes or wherever you see this podcast, we're going to have a link somewhere. All right, we'll see you later.